Hello, 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 hello. Hi, Sharon. Hello, April. Hello, hello, Blaine. How's it going? Hello, Anupka. Do you connect with animals? Sometimes. Do you mean like passed on animals or animals who are living? I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Blaine. Hello, Candy. Welcome. House hunting is going well. We just need to sell this house, and then we will be in escrow for our other house. So, the one we're buying. Oh, I'm so sorry, Anupka. So sorry to hear that. So I'm not connected to that dog right this second. So anyone who acts like they suddenly know based off of you asking that in the chat isn't doing real mediumship. So I'd have to connect to the passed on dog first, and then I'd be able to kind of give you what I know. Hey, Amy. Nice to have you here. Yeah, I can imagine it's a really sad day. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's devastating. Thanks. I appreciate the comment on the shirt. Appreciate that. It's hello. Hello, Espiritu. Espiritu. What are we doing tonight? I think I'm probably going to do readings, is my guess. Right now I'm just having the all caffeine. Forgive any background sounds. There's cooking being done in the kitchen, so you will likely hear things cooking. That is what's happening. Yeah. There is cooking. I'm not doing it. Yay. Oh, thanks, George. And I'm sorry to hear about your grandma that passed. I hope she comes through too. What about the cook? The cook is doing the cooking. We love the cook and we love the cooking. Hey Beeps. So we are going to do readings most likely. So it's just a matter of just me getting into that zone and getting into all of that. It's just going to take a little bit. We're obviously waiting on people to come in, people to be here. Some people are used to me being here. Some people are less used to me being here. I've been a little inconsistent more recently on my Sunday or Mondays. So yeah, we shall see. Thanks for the compliment on the shirt, Soul Connection. Oh, I'm just kidding. Who said that? George. Soul Connection. Hello. Pizza. I wish we were eating pizza. That sounds bomb. Check. I'm here. Must be for a reason. I'm glad that you're here. Thanks for the likes and the shares. That obviously helps to increase the awareness of the lives. So thank you for that. Everyone who's liking and sharing. While I'm drinking this tea, if you want to ask any questions about mediumship, psychic awareness, anything you've been wondering, ask a medium. Well, I happen to be a medium, so here I am. So those are the kinds of questions. We're not taking any kind of like, oops, sorry, TikTok people. We're not taking any kind of like predictive questions or anything like that. I'm referring to about the topic, not personal questions. I will be doing readings in a little bit, but I wait until this caffeine hits. Been watching me for years. One day Spirit will guide you to me. Yeah, I hope so. How's your healing been doing? Yeah, I mean, apparently Charlie is going to be sending out the testing. So if any of you who's with us 2 weeks ago is doing the testing, the healing testing, and yeah, I was doing the healing testing and was successful to prepare for the Charlie Goldsmith healing tests. And so he's supposedly sending out the email today about, you know, what we can do to participate in the study or the healing tests. How can I connect more with my angel? So if by angel you mean like helper or guide, what you can learn to do is to learn to become passive and quiet, learning how to be still and calm and receptive and focus on what you feel, not necessarily what you see. That was really helpful in helping you to pay attention to what you're getting from your angel, your helper, your guide. Yes, thank you for the likes. That's definitely helpful. Hello, Drops of Stardust. Nice to see you. Hello, Kenny. Or Kinnicky, maybe it is, from Sydney. I lived in Sydney. I loved Sydney. Mein Liebe. I was like, bonjour. No, that's not it. That's French. Hallo, hallo, mein Dana, Willie, mein Willie. What's up, Janelle? Thanks for the likes and the shares, everybody. Mein Schatz, Dana, Willie. During sitting in the power, I saw a white wall and faces peek over. Normal? That can happen. You just want to notice, accept, let it go. You don't have to try to do anything with what you see or experience. If it's going to be useful or important, it will be made clear over time. So no need to kind of make sense of it. Generally, I don't really see a whole lot when I'm sitting in the power. I mostly just feel. Hello, Janelle. So those of you who are tuning in and who are showing up here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. One thing I do want to mention while I have you here is that our students who are in our advancing have just started doing their public readings, and they need sitters. So, and they're very affordable. They're only $20. And you'll be helping a new generation of mediums become the best mediums that they can be by working with real people that have real loved ones in spirit. Not that mediums don't also have real loved ones in spirit, but it's definitely a different experience when you are working with non-mediums. So you'd be really helping them. You can go to oakbridgeinstitute.org to get a reading with one of our advancing students. And so we would love that. Please go check them out. You can find them at oakbridgeinstitute.org. oakbridgeinstitute.org. You can do it. Karen, you're rereading Spirit Speaks. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad it was good enough for a second round. One thing that I will say about that is that very, very soon the audiobook will be done. I finished everything pretty much. I just had to buy an ISBN, and then that should be out in the world. So the final edits are happening. And then you'll finally have the audiobook with me, Media Michael Mayo, doing all of the speaking and reading it to you. So, yeah, you'll get to learn it all again through the power of audio, which is nice. At least for me, it is. You need my sleep meditation? Jessica says, yeah, I've been waiting for the audiobook. Well, it's about to happen. Get ready. It's close. Yeah, my sleep meditation audiobook would be, our audio would be great. I could do that. Your voice is so soothing. Yeah. I mean, subtracting the banging in the background. I'll lull you to sleep. And if you want, I'll do it in an accent. I'd say, oi, shoshoy, shoshoy, shoshoy. No, it's time for you to lay down. I don't know what accent I just did there, or if I did any. I think that was a mixture of Irish and Scottish, or an attempt at anyway. My audio book is the same book, but just audio version. So my book, Spirit Speaks. The Hobbit. The Aussie accent sounds more natural. Yeah, that's just because I've lived in Australia, studied the accent. I could do the accent before I went to Australia, so I could do that. But yeah, so here we are. I'm just waiting for the motivation within my being to begin to read, and we will read. Audio book with a French Mayo. Yeah. We have to talk to the. I can't do it. I can't do a French accent. Let me see. There is a place we have to go to the power. That is where we. No, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. It's not good. I don't know how to do it. I gotta find the words that get me into it, but you know. Why isn't my book in libraries? I don't know. I don't know how books acquire libraries, or libraries acquire books. The motivation within my being. I freaking love you. I freaking love you back. George goes, nah, never mind. This is one thing I love about George. He's always honest. I am sweating up a storm. Ooh, that caffeine is making me sweaty. Sweaty Betty. Just call me Sweaty Betty. I'm sweating up a storm today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, soon I will be doing readings. But anyway, if you want a reading from one of our developing mediums, please do so. oakbridgeinstitute.org/ well, I don't know the slash, but go to Oakbridge and it says book a reading and book with one of our advancing students, $20 for a 30-minute reading. So that's really affordable. Is there a limit before you can speak to people per se after they pass? No, there is not. You can generally speak to people. It's usually the sitter themselves that aren't really ready to hear it, and that may cause a little bit of difficulty. But as far as like spirit being able to communicate, generally they can do it right when they pass. So technically it's tea. So since it's tea, it's less caffeine, but yeah, I can usually do pretty good. I mean, as long as it's not later than, too much later than now, before 8 o'clock, pretty much. Hey, Aaron, sorry. Hey, Aaron, I'm glad you're here. Which student would I recommend? They're all learning, they're all growing, they're all practicing. So I don't have one that I would point out more than any other one, but what I would say is that they will, I think they'll all do their very best for you, is what I will say. And I think they will do a great job. What else? Amanda. Hello, Amanda. Oh my God, Michael, I have an update for you. I'm going to text you. Yeah, do text me. Oh, I'm so hot in this shirt. Hey, Shehan. I'm going to be doing readings, yes. I haven't started yet, but I'm going to be doing readings. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. The more you like and share this, the better off it will be, and the more people will get to know about it. Yeah. So what I would say, if you are going on to oakbridgeinstitute.org and booking with one of our student readings, which are only $20 for 30 minutes, we just go with who you feel called to go to, who it feels you feel drawn to. That's the best way to do that, in my opinion. Hey, Monet. Hi, why do I feel so alone lately? Is it spirit or am I really alone? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Dave. I'm sorry you're feeling alone. I'm not necessarily connected to you to be able to explain that, but one thing I would say is just from a psychological level, our sense of perception plays a big role in what we experience. And if we perceive that we are alone, that's just as bad as literally being alone. And so it would be beneficial to reach out to community if you have any. Hey, Aparna. I'm doing well. I'm a little sweaty and hot, but I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Hi, Brenda. How long have they been studying with us? Our students have been working with us for 2 years, most of them. Most of them are at the 2-year mark. Some might be a little bit longer, but most are just at the 2-year mark. Do you like giving psychic readings to the same people after some time has passed? Do I like it? I don't know that I have a like or dislike for readings. They're just readings. So, but do I think that it's beneficial to let time pass after a psychic reading? Yes, I think you should let 3 to 6 months go by before you get a psychic reading a second time, because you got to let some of the things that were happening come to fruition, and then also circumstances have to change as well. So you wouldn't want to get a psychic reading, then the next day get another psychic reading, or even a month in get a psychic reading. You want to give it some time for the circumstances to change. Oh, you saw me on saw you with James on Prague on YouTube. Oh, awesome! I'm glad that you did. That was a while ago. That was probably a few years ago. That that interview. Hey, mon ami. Nice to see you. Why are you fangirling? Because you like my book? That's very sweet. It was very insightful. Oh, amazing. I'm glad. I'm glad it was insightful. Now, there's quite a few interviews and things that I have done that people are pretty jazzed about. One of them that most recently people seem to be really, really excited about is my interview with Hannah the Medium. Hannah the Medium? I'm trying to remember the name of her talk, her podcast. If anyone knows, you can put it in the chat. But that one, people have been really jazzed about. So maybe that's also worth a listen too, to see what that one was, because a lot of people really like that. Thanks for the likes and the shares, folks. That is definitely helping. Do you accept Venmo as a payment method for readings? Not generally, but if that is the only way and you don't want to use PayPal, then you would have to reach out to me directly. And but I won't reach out to you, because I have to say that because people will, scammers will be listening, and then they'll try to do that to you, and it won't be me, and they'll give you some Venmo and blah, blah, blah. So just know, I won't ever reach out to you for a reading, but you can reach out to me for a reading. Hannah McIntyre Medium, thank you for that. Mediumship Matters is the interview. Thank you. People are helping me. Oh, look at a lot of people are telling me that. Thanks, Kevin. April, thank you. Sherry Lynn, Michael, 2 years is a pretty long time to still be a student, isn't it? No, I don't think so at all. In fact, I actually think one should still be developing their mediums before they're fully out there in the world of the public for probably about 5 years. So I personally think you should take your sweet time in your development, because it is going to be it's going to make a big difference in the quality and what you bring out into the world. So yeah. Mediumship matters. The interview, watch, love it. I definitely Google it. I'm inspired by your journey, breaking old patterns and conditioning, stepping outside of the norm. Aparna, I'm so happy to hear that. What kind of patterns are you breaking? Hi, KB. My Crystal Visions. Janelle says 2 years and I'm just a baby. It really, guys, it really takes a life, as Kemi just said, a lifelong practice. It really is lifelong practice. I've been doing it for almost 20 years and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still expanding. But yeah, I tend to like people to be in their development a lot longer, because there's something that happens with time that makes a huge difference to the quality of work. You learn how to surrender better. You learn how to follow the lead of the spirit better. You trust and understand your experiences more. So the actual in-class development, I think 3 years is a great place to go. And then once you start to then you can start working with the public. Once you start working with the public, I would recommend, easing your way into that. And then you have some years under your belt where you're kind of working as a developing medium with the public. And then now you're officially a medium. That would be my ideal sort of, I guess, way to go is what I would recommend, just because it really keeps the pressure off. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people have taken a few classes, a few workshops, even for a year, and then they go out and they try to be a medium, and then they run into themselves. And that happens a lot. I mean, it's textbook. I mean, it happens so often that people rush out and become a public medium, and then they start struggling really, really badly. And then they have to either withdraw from their mediumship work, or they have to do a lot of personal work that they didn't do beforehand, which is also really, really important. So you just have to be careful. I really think there's no rush in this journey, and patience and taking your time really makes a big difference. And you'll be glad you did. You really, truly will be glad you did. I used to get a lot of images of people and things, but I told someone now it's over. Well, you can get it back, Sherry, if you're trying to. Hi, Adam. Where have I been? I have been busy. I've been busy with other things, and I've been trying to come back more regularly. The last 3 weeks I've been pretty consistent again, which is what we're after. I'm trying to be more consistent with this again, like I used to be. Let me jump over here. Yeah, exactly. Life. Hey, Dina. Oh, Dina says, my favorite, most gifted medium. Thank you so much, Dina. Mwah, love you. Mayo the Goat. How does it feel in time you will go down in the books helping people and help people close some chapters? That's so sweet. Can I be real? I don't see what I do as that incredible or special. There are people who do brain surgery and save people's lives and cure cancer and help the homeless. And to me, those are the people that are incredible. With that said, I know that there's been ways in which I've supported and helped the healing process for people's loss, which I'm happy about. Yeah, I guess for me, I just do it. I just do it, and I show up and I do it. There's not some sort of goal that I need to get to, or I would love to, obviously have a bigger platform to be able to help more people and connect with more people. But I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing the last almost 20 years and just like do 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 and just keep working on my shit and help the people that I can help, and that's about it. Um, Also, what do you think of dowsing rods? You think predictions can be real, or is it representative of our subconscious desire? I use rods and would be grateful if you could please share your expertise. So I personally am not a big dowsing rod person just because they're too easy to influence. I think there's just other ways to develop your intuitive answers and that sort of thing. Um, could there be a relationship to the subconscious? Absolutely. And your desire absolutely can impact them. So you have to remember that when we want to do anything with the spirit world, we have to let go of desire, distraction, and expectation. The more that we can do that, the more that we can start to prevent influence of our own mind, our own thoughts, and this sort of thing. So it's really important for us to cultivate neutrality and surrender when we're using any modality of connecting with the spirit. So I would say that's probably the first step before jumping into using a tool like that, just because it's too easy to influence. Love you more. Looks like you've been working out. I could not comment on that. Thank you. I have been. I appreciate that. My car almost blew up without you, and a heavy pain has gone. How many have you done? Except it play you gangsta. My car almost blew up without you. What do you mean, George? What are you talking about? How about the tarot? The tarot is different. I don't think it's as easily influenced if you're reading the cards, but also you're using your own intuition as you're using them. I don't know. I think it's a less influenced thing, but of course it's all interpretation. So again, anything you're doing with the spirit world, get rid of desire, distraction, and expectation. The more you can get rid of that, the more you can surrender to the experience and let yourself be inspired, especially with psychic tools like that, the better. Let me jump over here because I know that people have been saying some things. Let's see. I took a few workshops. I definitely need more than just that. Meditating a lot. That's great, Karen. Can you tell me how to get back, please? Get back to connection and being able to experience the spirit. I would recommend definitely our foundation series. Also, Dana Willey offers classes that I would recommend as well. That's all going to give you the guidance. If for whatever reason that's not available to you, either financially or something like that, definitely my book, Spirit Speaks, was written for that exact purpose, helping people to connect with their mediumship and their psychic awareness. I mean, it's more geared towards mediumship, but if you develop your mediumship, your psychic awareness will also develop as well. Sitting in the power is also a really helpful thing, a starting place. Michael, I wanted to say you were 100% accurate. You predicted me getting endometriosis care in 2 years. Did I? And I was just diagnosed with it. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Wow. Thank you, Monet. I'm happy. I mean, I'm not happy with that, diagnoses. I wish that was not the diagnoses, but I'm happy that there was accuracy. Dana says, I'm going to go buy it right now. I want your book. Okay, go and get it. Any tips when feeling others' pain in my sacral? How do I know where their pain is? Let me see. Any tips when feeling others' pain in my sacral? How to know where their pain is? So one thing I would say is that you don't have to take on other people's stuff. It's really not necessary. What you want to do is instead touch upon the awareness of it. So let's say you're connecting with someone and you start to feel their pain or whatever. You have to remember that the key is letting it go. So it's one thing to perceive it. The other step is to actually let it go. What happens is when something becomes obvious or clear to us, sometimes our attention will grab onto that thing, like the sense of someone's pain. And what happens is if we don't let that go, it keeps reinforcing it, and therefore we start building that awareness of it, and we kind of hold on to it. So actually, it's our attention on it that's actually holding on to it. So then we have to go, okay, notice, accept, let it go. Notice, accept, let it go. And we want to touch that awareness of their pain that's not our own, touch it for a moment, and then decide, okay, I'm letting that go, and I'm not going to look for it again. I'm not going to seek it again. And that will help you to let go of whatever that is. Because if where our attention goes, our energy flows. If our attention is on the pain of someone else, we're going to keep strengthening that connection. Hi, Michael. What did this say? Hi, Michael. You're amazing. Still reading Spirit Speaks. I'm so glad that you're reading it. It's a good starting point for sure. Thank you. I see predictions coming through with tarot, and I find it fascinating. Amazing. Sorry if you've already touched on this, but what do you think about binaural beats? I think they can be supportive for sure. I think moving into altered states using sound is definitely a helpful tool. I personally would like to develop people so that they don't have to use any sort of tool to connect in, and we're just training our brain. But I think that there is value in binaural beats. The time you mentioned we had a car issues, literally was leaking gas, and you guys said, I am surprised, and the guy said, I'm surprised nothing has sparked in so long. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad I told you you had car issues. Otherwise, that would have been bad. So yeah, whoever gave me that message, thank you for giving me that message. And I'm glad that you got that fixed, because that's bad to have your car leaking gas. Another question that bugs me. I feel physical pain when someone I know is in physical pain. I've tested and experimented many times. I wonder if it's empathy or anything else. Yeah, so that is something that we have to learn how to separate and bring our attention back to what's ours versus not ours. And it's very easy for very empathic people, or people who are very sensitive to others, or if we're always kind of feeling other people's feelings and pains and things like that, for us to pay too much attention to that, and that ends up causing us to deepen that awareness of it. So just like I gave the piece for the other thing, another step you can take is whenever you're experiencing that, you have to really start to recognize what's me. So pay attention to what is me without that. Stop paying attention to the other people's pain. Stop paying attention to that, and take your attention back to yourself, okay? And really bring yourself into your own energy, your own body. Another thing that might help with this is also just when you start your day and things, take some time in the morning to just go quiet, go within, and then fill yourself with what you want to be experiencing throughout that day. That will help you absolutely, because you start building your own space, building your own power, and that is super, super important. I feel my tools are inconsistent, but when I feel it, the accuracy scares people. Yeah, absolutely. Like something takes over and it flows through me. That's exactly it. That's what you're looking for. You want the flow to happen. You don't want it to just be coming from the mental sphere of trying to like explain what something means. Instead, you want to allow yourself to feel the flow, feel the power, feel the energy, feel the shift in your awareness, because that's where accuracy comes from. Share this video, Leia. Hope you all have a good day. Okay, I'll probably try to cut that little section out. Does your book help with that? Absolutely, my book will definitely help with that. Hey, baby blog. Let me see over here. So I got to go back over here. Thanks, Monet, for being here. I'm just seeing. Let's see. Do I have a Kindle version? The Kindle version does exist for my book. Oh, you found my book on the library app. Perfect. That's awesome. As an empath, it's very hard not to drive and help people, and it's hard not to feel what they feel. So Sherry, there's a section in my book that talks exactly about that, that will definitely be supportive for that. I can't get my mind to quiet long enough. Yeah. That's a practice that takes practice. It's why sitting in the power is a practice. It's not something that we just do overnight. It is actually a literal practice that you develop over time. I'm just spending all of my time tapping, waiting to see where spirit leads you tonight. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for tapping. Can we get a Mayo podcast? Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing podcasts. I do have everything I need to kind of start that. It's just a lot of commitment, a lot of time commitment. And I'm the type that I struggle with not doing things the best that they could possibly be. But that is an option. We are going to be moving eventually, soon, hopefully. And when we do, we'll have a dedicated office for that to where I can just leave everything set up exactly the way that I want it. And then that might make it easier to do a podcast or something like that. Is one of my cats making all the noise? No, that's my boyfriend cooking in the background. And that's him laughing. Hi, Julie. Thank you so much. I'm learning to take my power back in relationships too. I find dating exhausting because I'm drawn to people with I have karmic bonds with, so they are lessons. Well, you and everybody else, because every relationship, if it's a good one, is going to challenge you, is going to ask you to grow, is going to have you, is going to be a process, an unfoldment. And you're going to keep running into the same things over and over again until you do something different, make a different choice, learn the lesson, and heal whatever is going on. For anyone listening, watching right now, I highly, did I say highly? Recommend Charlie Goldsmith's book, Human Medicine. It's a really, really excellent book. Feels very parts worky for me. But also just the way that he breaks everything down and explains things on how to truly let healing happen emotionally, and teaching you how to work with your feelings and your emotions for true healing. It's very powerful. So I highly recommend that if you don't have it. It's on Spotify. So if you have a premium Spotify thing, you can listen to the whole entire book if you want. But I also recommend buying it. I'm going to definitely buy the physical copy for sure. I never noticed how perfect your teeth are. Oh, thanks, Mom. That would be the expensive and ton of money that went into my childhood dental process, orthodontist. But thank you. What's for dinner? It's like a pasta, a gluten-free pasta, like no wheat sort of situation. Pasta with a vodka sauce that has no dairy in it. And is there anything else? Oh, a salad with cabbage. Oh, and there's tofu. And then there's cabbage and broccoli salad. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Watching the unfolding is remarkable. Witnessing her own and another's transformation is magical, and nothing like it on the planet. I totally agree with you. You have a great audiobook voice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, my book is about to come out on audiobook, so if you feel like you want to listen to it, you can absolutely do that. Damn, I had a slice of pizza. That sounds good too. I want a slice of pizza. What's the scale of his cooking? No lie. He can cook. He's cooked me South African dishes before, and it was delicious. Thank you. Do you believe in synchronicity, signs from the universe, seeing name multiple times? Is it fixation or a sign? Usually I will hear from the person after that. I think it's probably more, it's a sign, but if you know that you're being, you're fixating on things, then yeah, it might be a fixation. It just depends on the context of all of that. So that's so specific. I can't tell if I'm in a karmic relationship, but so far the person has challenged me quite a bit, and it feels like they know me, and it's difficult. Yeah, I mean, I feel like most relationships are really freaking difficult, and they are going to challenge you if they're good ones. And I think most relationships that are serious are going to be karmic in some way, that you're there to teach and learn. And even the ones that are feeling really, really awful, they oftentimes need to be the thing that will break the camel's back. So, for example, I was in a pseudo relationship prior to meeting my partner, and that was really difficult. It was a really difficult thing, probably one of the most difficult and challenging things that I went through. And it kind of made me, the feeling after you get food poisoning, and like whatever food you ate last is the thing that you would never eat again. That's how I felt after the end of that relationship, where there was behaviors and things that, the end was so terrible that there were certain unhealthy behaviors that I was willing to accept in the past that I no longer accept at all. Sorry, now my cat's trying to get me to feed him. And it was like, I feel if I see even the slightest hint of that behavior, I'm absolutely turned off. So, sometimes we need to go through those really difficult relationships so that we can learn how to change and grow and do something different. It's no Cook Monday pizza. It was. That's awesome. So what was your breaking point where you're like, yeah, I'm done with this? In that situation, the negative behaviors that were kind of always present ended up leading to a very unprocessed and traumatic sort of experience for us both. And that experience left us both very confused, and then their inability to communicate and talk about it, and left things sort of unanswered, unresolved. That was so difficult and painful that I was like, all right, well, I guess we're done here, and I'm not going to try to fight for this anymore, even though I wanted to for quite a long time. And one of the best things I could say is getting space from those relationships that feel really intense like that, and potentially even like that inconsistent that you get from unhealthy relationships, especially if there's like an avoidant quality to them. For those of us who are very caring and compassionate and all sorts of things, and maybe leaning a little bit more on the anxious scale for attachment style, I find that it is incredibly difficult to break that pattern. But one thing that's really helpful is space. Getting space from that person helps you to recalibrate and experience your own feelings and where, what you are after. So that's something I would say. But really read Human Medicine by Charlie Goldsmith. Really helpful. Speaking of relationships, give it to me straight. Will I be dying as a childless cat lady? I mean, I thought I was going to die as a childless cat lady, and then things changed once I learned the lessons that I needed to learn and made the changes in my life that really were supportive towards my goals. So it was personal work mixed with making better choices, not falling for the problem person to fix. That was a big step. So that's helpful. But yeah, pseudo relationship. That's the story of my life. But not now. Me as I look over at my partner. Speaking of my husband passed 34 years ago and definitely still on a grief journey. John, I am so sorry to hear that. That is a difficult thing, and I can't even begin to imagine the loss of a partner. To me, that's right up there with the loss of a child, and I can't imagine it. And it's anyone who has dealt with either of those, I have big, powerful respect for. Just so much respect. But one thing I can say, John, is that I'm happy to know that our loved ones do go on. That doesn't help us so much here because we don't get to hug them. We don't get to kiss them. We don't get to connect with them in that way. But one thing I will say is that we can learn to have a different relationship with them. We can learn to have a new relationship, one that is more nuanced, one that is more subtle, and that can be very, very powerful. Any books you recommend on relationships and breaking patterns? I have Saturn in the seventh, Vedic astrology, so heavy life lessons based on karma. Um, I think our actions and our mindset play a huge role, and not just mindset, but our ability to break patterns psychologically and connect and with our emotions and our feelings and processing them properly and learning how to do that. That truly makes a huge difference in the way forward. And I think that it's the choices that we make in this life that change us, people, and change our patterns. And so, again, going to plug it once more. Charlie Goldsmith's book, Human Medicine. Really check that out. That's a great step. Thank you for sharing about your experience of having anxious attachment and suffer deeply in relationship. I have similar life lessons. I get that. I'm right there with you. And so that is why learning about anxious attachment, learning how to do things differently, learning how to process your emotions properly so that you let yourself feel them, learning how to understand your splits and that sort of thing is really going to be powerful healing work. So definitely check that. You're so welcome, John. Hello, Claudette. Hello, Tidell. Sorry, let me go back up. What we want versus what we need, what we deserve, right? Yeah. I mean, what you deserve is consistency. What you deserve is someone who values your feelings. What you deserve is someone who will be there for you and be that safety for you. What you don't deserve is breadcrumbs and consistency. And the thing is we end up keeping our desire for that because that's what's familiar to us. When we grow up in an environment that is on off, or maybe no feelings at all, we can feel that thing of like, well, if I can just prove that I'm valuable, if I can just prove that I am worthy or enough, then they'll love me and then I'll be able to move past this. So, for example, in our adult relationships, we are often, if we are unhealed, we are trying to be in the same situation we were as a child with having a new result. So we end up trying to pick the people that maybe represent or are similar to the dynamics that we've had in the past. And we're hoping that this time someone will choose me. This time someone will see my value and pick me, or I have to, do something differently. The alternative is also being the fearful one, the one that is afraid of being lost or consumed or misdirected or losing autonomy. That's the other side of the coin. So these are all really, really important things for you to explore emotionally and discover what's happening within you. Title, I'm new here. What's happening tonight? So every Monday I come on here and generally I do readings. I haven't done one yet tonight. We've mostly just been talking because there's been some interesting conversation. But normally I do readings and I connect in with people and give a message either from spirit, or sometimes I'll do healings, or sometimes I'll do psychic work. It just depends on the day and what I feel inspired to do. Yeah, I'm not in that space now. I was in an emotionally abusive relationship for 5 years and just ended it finally, and they moved out via restraining order in April. It's been hard, but feels energy cleansing. I'm glad to hear that it feels energy cleansing. That is a big step, and being freed from that definitely gets to bring your energy back to yourself rather than your energy kind of going out to other people and trying to make it work. Also, if anyone's in that sort of environment or that sort of relationship, seek support, seek help, because in those relationships, oftentimes we are isolated. And community is one of the most powerful and important things that help us to find reality again. Do you use any astrology apps or recommend any to help break down your natal chart if you're into that? So I actually am a professional astrologer. as well, of the many hats that I wear, including this one. And so I don't really use any apps because I rather just use the chart. Um, and so I can't point to one specifically. A lot of people like CoStar, but I don't know how accurate it is. I'm also a traditional astrologer, so I have different views than maybe modern astrology of what's valuable, what's correct, etc. So I'm not the best person to kind of point to for that. But if other people have suggestions, they can always put that in the chat and I'll talk about them out loud. My niece lost her life and relationships, so I'm beyond proud of anyone who leaves. I appreciate that too. I'm very proud of people who can step out of that because that's very difficult. Nice. How long have you been doing this? So I have been developing my mediumship and psychic awareness for almost 20 years. It's been a while. It's been a long time. And I have a book called Spirit Speaks, where I've kind of distilled down all of my teaching and things. Something I want to plug one more time, though, for those of you who don't know, I have an online school. It's called Oak Bridge Institute, and we have students who have worked with us since their foundations series, going through the expansion and then advancing, and they have just started working with the public. And so because they're working with the public, they are needing real people like yourselves to book readings with them. They're only $20. So that's a very reasonable, it's probably less than a meal if you go out. And very reasonable. You'll get a 30-minute reading. If for whatever reason they're not able to make a link for you or connect with you, we will reschedule you. And we can also refund you if it doesn't work out for whatever reason. So you really won't lose anything, but you'll give them a chance to develop and help the next kind of generation of mediums. They have been working with us enough to where they can give a solid reading. I've seen all of them, each and every one, give incredible readings at some point in their journey. So I would really encourage you, if you're interested in getting a reading from one of our developing mediums, you can do so at oakbridgeinstitute.org. I highly, highly recommend it. Plus, you're going to be helping our students out. So please do that. Aparna, when you say, how do you break the fear? Which fear is that? Mm-hmm. Do you randomly check in on student readings? So how that works is when they get to the advancing level, what they do is we have 5 months where they do working with the public once a month, and they do it at our meeting time, and we get to observe their readings. Once they get to the second half of the sorry, my cat's trying to jump on my lap. Once we get to the second half of it, then they do 3 readings a week. And then we talk about what happened. So we don't observe those. We only observe the first 5 months of that. And then the second 5 months, we don't observe, but they do record everything. So yeah. How did you know you were a medium? A medium told me. I stumbled into a mediumship demonstration, and the medium said, "You're a medium. You need to start developing, and one day you'll be doing what I'm doing." And so I went to my first class, and in the first time that someone said, "Hey, get up, it's your turn to give a message," I got the person's name, relationship, how they died, when they died, dates that were accurate, basically everything that you would want in a perfect message. And yeah, I just went along with it. I came back the next week because I was like, wow, I guess that guy was right. Came back the next week, I got nothing. I came back the next week, I got nothing. Came back the next week, I got nothing. And because of that, it made me go, okay, well, clearly I can do this. I just have to figure out how. And so that's how I started my almost 20-year journey of developing my mediumship. Oh my God, show the kitten if you can. Where is he? That's him. Out the bush. Come here. They want to see you. They want to see how the Bush. I'm trying not to knock my light over behind me though. Come here, Bushy. Oh shit! I think I just hit his head on the thing. Hi, Bushy. Hi, Bushy. This is Hudson. He is a cute boy, and he's very fat. And he was recently at the vet, which is why he has these things. He had some constipation. Did you have constipation, Hackaboosh? Yes, you did. This is my fat boy. I mean, all my cats are kind of fat, but... Oh, my sweetness. Oh, okay. You're going to go down there? You got my hands covered in. You look a little fat, bro. Are we overfeeding you? I think we're overfeeding you a little bit. Some people are feeding him, and I think he's getting chonks. I have cat hair all over my hands. Yeah, he is a handsome boy. He's a sweet boy, too. He's like the smartest cat I've ever owned. Life-saving cats? Cat? You mean the one that I spent $30,000 on trying to save his life? No, that's not him. That was not him. That was the other one, who's alive and well now. So that's cool. So a skilled medium can tell if you have mediumship skills? Yes. I mean, I personally believe that everyone can do this pretty much. There's some people who will have a natural knack for it. I think the reason why he gave me that prediction had more to do with the fact that this was something that I was going to be. I was going to work as a medium. That was going to be my calling. That is a different thing from developing mediumship as a skill. I think anyone really can develop mediumship as a skill, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to go be a medium. So that's a very different thing. Working as a medium, doing readings for people, all that sort of thing. I feel like that's quite different. So yeah. Let's see. Fear of attachment after severe heartbreak or betrayal, not being able to connect, or fear of intimacy. Yeah, that's difficult. I would, again, highly recommend Charlie Goldsmith's book, Human Medicine. That is going to be key for that. I also recommend therapy. I'm a big fan of therapy and think that everybody should do it. Like literally everybody. Just it's hard to find a good therapist. That's always the key. Definitely parts work is really powerful when it comes to healing. Also, any kind of experiential therapy is really, really powerful. I would say maybe even over things like talk therapy and things like that. So some advice from me of what I've seen work. So yeah. Hola, Darren. Again, please go book with our advancing student mediums at oakbridgeinstitute.org. They're only $20. You'll be helping them develop their readings and their ability. They need to learn, and we need people that are willing to help them. So you'd help them by booking with them at oakbridgeinstitute.org, and it's only $20 for a reading. Took me 13 years to find the right therapist for me, and I feel so blessed to have her support. That's awesome, Jorb. You just finished your 3 readings for today. That's great, Darren. I'm glad. So we have a couple of our students in the TikTok live. Darren is one of them, and so is Nat. They're both people you can get readings with, and they are fabulous. Some of us don't have insurance long enough to find the right therapist. That is difficult. There are some therapists who will work on sliding scales, so that can sometimes help. I would recommend if you can find someone who's willing to do that. And that way, if you are paying out of pocket, you are on a sliding scale. So something that you can afford. I'm sorry to hear that, Melanie. That's rough. That is not ideal for sure. Okay. So let me just see. Yeah, not getting on any scale. I don't have anything to get on scale with. I'm sure that will change eventually, Melanie. Hello, Heather. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna do a reading tonight. I'm just not feeling fully in that headspace. So what I'm gonna do instead is I will try to come on again during the week at some point, and then I'll do a reading then. So maybe either tomorrow or the next. Well, not the next day because I have a bunch of things that I have to do on Wednesday, but maybe tomorrow, potentially Thursday. But I will do that. You can't see those comments because they are in the TikTok live, not the Instagram live. Claudette says it's true. A lot of other media times, other media will tell people they have gifts. Yeah, sometimes they do. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, Melanie. I appreciate it. And yeah, definitely follow if you're not following me now. You can follow me so that way I'm here to do the. You'll be here next week or in the next couple days when I come back on to do readings, which I shall do. Okie dokie. So thank you. I'm gonna go eat dinner because that sounds amazing. But I love you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your amazing questions. Please come back next week, or if I'm on live, I'll come on to all of these places wherever you're watching me now, and I will answer more questions and I'll also do a reading. So I make sure that next time I will for sure do a reading. Okay. Thank you, everybody. It was great to have you here, and I will speak to you soon.